Muslim gym trainer lynched in India, forced to chant Jai Shri Ram. So, Asif Khan, a Muslim gym trainer from Mewat in Haryana, was lynched to death on May 16th by Hindu vigilante groups. Maktoob media said in its report that the Hindu mob was forcing Asif to chant Jai Shri Ram, a prayer turned war cry by the Hindu nationalist militants. Khan's family stated that Asif was traveling with his friends from his home village of Khalilpur to Sohna to get medicine when 30 people attacked him. Asif's uncle told the media that during the attack, the mob was screaming, "Oh, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube."
I shouldn't scroll down. It actually gets really ugly, the imagery.
They were screaming KILL Muslims.
Wow.
According to the family, the Haryana police have filed a report against the perpetrators, but no arrests have been made so far. Or as of the 17th when this was published.
So, for people who don't know, Jai Shri Ram is the Allahu Akbar of the Hindus. Basically means Allahu Akbar in Hindu. Literally translates to, thank you, Katie. She's victory to Lord Ram. Ram is one of Hindu gods. Wait, hold on. Let me think. It's. I know it's a reincarnation of Vishnu, but let me remember which number 8 reincarnation of Vishnu. Am I right? Lord Ram, number 8 reincarnation of Vishnu.
Ex-Hindus, let us know. Did he get it right?
Hinduism, ex-Hindus. Yeah. Krishna is the 9th, and Modi is number 10. No, wait, 7. 7. 9 is Buddha. I screwed up. Okay, 7 is Ram. 8 is Krishna, 9 is Buddha, and 10 is Modi. 10 is I know, but I'm joking when I'm saying 10 is Kalki, but Kalki is Modi.
Some niche Hinduism jokes.
But okay, yeah, Jai Shri Ram. But yeah, I mean, I don't. You know how we get some Hindus who, when every time we criticize Hinduism, they come and in the live chat and say, "Well, Armin, at least we don't behead people, right?" And
right.
Yeah, and we were like, "Oh my God, you guys are not violent. Here's a cookie." That means like we don't get to criticize your ideas because you don't do these things. Okay, here's a cookie for you. Here's a cookie for you. We should stop giving out those cookies, right? Because it's actually dishonest to say that Hinduism is not used for violence, right? It's
absurd.
It's like it's absurd. Yeah.
Like forcing a man to say something which you know is like not only a major sin in his religion, the most serious sin in his religion, to like praise another god. You literally can't like force a Muslim to do anything worse according to Islam. Like, I think people need to be aware of how much anti-Muslim bigotry like exists in the world. Like, I think this is, I guess, maybe personal criticism of some of our audience. Like, they come from a Muslim background. Maybe they're still living in a Muslim country. So they have a lot of resentment and don't have as much sympathy towards these events, you know? And it really disappoints me. And it makes me really upset because just because you are abused by Muslims, like wherever you are, that doesn't mean that other Muslims in other places in the world aren't horrifically abused. And your poor treatment doesn't in any way justify what happens to these other people. Like, it's heartbreaking. And some people are so angry and bitter, and for many reasons that I completely understand, but we need to have a lot of sympathy for the people who are completely persecuted.
Read what Harshit is
I don't know if I'm making sense.
No,
Harshit is saying the problem is not just forcing the change. Even if they say it, the goons would just claim they are being insincere.
Silva saying, I'm super happy that the BGP got their asses kicked by. Oh, yeah, actually, we
In
should have
West
covered
Bengal, Tamil
that.
Nadu, and Kerala.
We should have covered that. Okay.
I was thinking about it, but it seemed too geopolitical.
Right.
Less religion.
I don't understand this one. Oh,
yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, here's another one.
Oh, Harshit's just repeating himself. Yeah, the problem is not just forcing the chant.
Yeah.
Even if they say it, the goons would be. Katie is saying the Maratha Empire Hindus committed one of the largest massacres in Indian history in Bengal. Whoa, 400,000. And then in the Afghan Durrani Empire. Oh,
But
this is
we don't-
interesting. Wait, this is a good comment from Shuvo that I want to highlight because it kind of comes off of my point. I have the hardest time talking about how Muslims are treated in India with my Hindu relatives because the first thing they say is, look at what they do to us in Bangladesh and Pakistan.
Right. See,
Yeah.
this is your mind on collectivism. Guys, I hope like people understand that when we say like, okay, like bring back Katie's comment, okay? This does, okay, hold on. Let me actually just go like this. This, what Katie is saying, okay? I hope nobody thinks that we or Katie or Susanna are trying to hold Hindus responsible for stuff like this, right? No, like we're not blaming Hindus. We are just saying Hinduism as an ideology can be used for violence, but we're not like this is not none of this, even no matter how bad the numbers are, should ever be used as an excuse to hold Hindus responsible for crimes like this. Hindus are not responsible for the crimes like this. Only the people who did these things are responsible for crimes like this, right? If you have the mindset of like, oh my God, look what Hindus are doing, this means that Hindus are bad. Well, that way of thinking is exactly what people like this are using to attack Muslims, right? Because they're attacking innocent Muslims because they're holding Muslims collectively responsible for what other Muslims did to Hindus, right? Because guess what? Hindus are the number one non-Muslim victims of Islam. The number of Hindus that died under Islamic ruling is higher than any other group of people. So much so that they named mountains out of it. The Hindu Kush. Hindu Kush means like killing Hindus. That's what it means, right? That's how, it's like the numbers are astronomical, right? So we don't want to comment. Like, I hope nobody, like, we have to be careful because people don't sometimes know what we mean. Like, if we like, oh my God, look at these numbers, look at the level of crimes that Hindus are committing on Muslims in India. I hope nobody goes away. Like, I don't know what to do to make sure that people don't get this message, to go away thinking like, oh my God, Hindus are oppressive to Muslims. No, not Hindus, just only these people. That if you think like that,
and how they weaponize their religion.
Yeah, and their religion. But if you think like that, if you all of a sudden want to like hate on Hindus as a whole because of this, well, that again, I know I already said this, but I want to say it again. That exactly the mindset that makes them feel justified to attack Muslims, because they also have many examples of Muslims attacking their community. Right? This Muslim that was lynched, he had nothing to do with all the Hindus that died after this guy. Had nothing to do with all the Muslims that committed crimes against Hindus, but he's paying the price for it because of guilt by association, right? So if you're against this, then don't again be mindful not to promote the same thing but on Hindus, right? because
Mhm.
that's what some Muslims think. Like that's how some Muslims think. Like they're justified to attack Hindus because like, well, I have thousands of like not thousands, hundreds of years of worth of history to show you why Hindus attacked us, and this will make it justified. Blah 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 blah. Again, this is your mind on collectivism. This is your mind on religion. This is your mind on tribalism, and this is your mind when you believe in guilt by association. Okay. This is why individualism is the way. Okay, judge every individuals based on their own actions, and even if you judge them based on their own actions, still something like this is never justified, no matter what the crime is. Okay.
I want to highlight this comment from Michael Sherlock because it was speaking to
Oh hey.
what I was talking about in terms of certain attitudes. Michael Sherlock is saying many ex-Muslims have suffered severe trauma, which is why their criticisms of the ideology of Islam are so fierce. Yes, but I was talking about Muslims, not Islam. However, most ex-Muslims I know do not subscribe to an irrational caricature of Muslims because they actually have Muslim friends and family, so they understand how horrible anti-Muslim bigotry is. And many ex-Muslims still suffer from anti-Muslim bigotry. That is particularly true in the West in terms of still suffering from anti-Muslim bigotry. However, this is not always the case. Like, I hate to say it, I've seen ex-Muslims who are basically sympathetic to what's happening in China and Xinjiang to the Uyghurs. Like, and I know that it comes from a place of trauma that probably hasn't been dealt with, but we can't shy away from the fact that there are ex-Muslims who do demonize Muslims. They do exist. This is,
Yeah.
and it's some of the things I see, I'm shocked by, you know? So I want to call it out and I want to talk about it because it's just as dangerous and it upsets me. But yes, I'm curious, Armin, if you had any comments on my thoughts about that flavor of attitude that I've detected among certain, not all ex-Muslims.
Yes. So yeah, and again, the trauma that ex-Muslims have gone through should be used as an explanation for why some of them have anti-Muslim bigoted views, but not as an excuse. There's a difference between explaining something and excusing something, and again, that's a very fine line because because if you don't understand that, then I mean, the worst radical views on the planet, you could see how some of the crazies and far right or Islamists or bigots, you could see the path that got them there and you could explain it, but you always have to be clear explaining it. That doesn't mean that it's okay, that it's justified, or that you're excusing it, right? You're just trying to explain it just so that you could see if you could prevent it in other people. But you also have to clarify every time if you're explaining it, because people might seem like that you're excusing it. There is no excuse for such views, right?
And I think it's interesting. This is a pattern I've noticed, that this kind of attitude, in my anecdotal experience, tends to appear in people who have not been able to actually be free in their life, in their lifestyle, maybe where they live, from Islam. Like, they're not actually able to just be free and like leave that behind, so to speak. Like, it's actively part of their life that they're continuing to be persecuted, like, more viciously than someone who left Islam in America, So I factor that in to a lot of what's driving these attitudes.
We have had people, ex-Muslims in our own community here, that have some that like we like loved and adored and we celebrated as my valuable and then in private all of a sudden they sent us messages about their views on Muslims that me and Susanna were like, and we were like, we know that they had such traumatic bad experiences, so it's really hard for them to like us to show them why they are wrong, but I'm so glad like some of these ex-Muslims are not in a position of authority or decision making. Some of them, I mean, oof, like, god damn, some of these so here's the thing. So you think, like, again, hashtag not all, many of them are not like that. We're talking about ex-Muslims living in Islamic countries, like their entire family and friends and everything around them are Muslim, right? So most people they know are Muslims, and yet they have such crazy radical views about what they want to see happen to Muslims that it scares me. Like, it really scares me, right? So that is, again, it's not the majority of them, but it is common, and that's not a contradiction, right? It is not a majority, but it is common. Here, Katie is saying something.
Goddess Katie is saying the Hindutva is just helping Islam live longer. Muslims are becoming more tribal because they are being persecuted. Then Hindutva is using this tribalism to persecute them more. Yes, in fact, I know some ex-Muslims in India who don't really publicly identify as ex-Muslim because they know that they'll be basically used like as a political tool against their own community that they have a lot of affinity for, or because they're going to be persecuted as a Muslim either way. Like, as Armin and I are well aware from our run-in with Hindutva, if you know, guys don't know, the religion that you come from is actually in your blood. It's in your blood. And
don't joke about that. People might think we're serious.
Yeah, no, I'm completely joking because of some crazy accusations that we faced. Where it's just a characteristic. It's horrible. It's horrible bigotry.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more blasphemous art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest blasphemous art available today. So, if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.